you doing?
Well, you got the guys ready to go for today?
Yeah, I think we've been kind of going after it since school started. So, the good news is they showed up in shape, ready to rock, so we didn't have to ease into it. So today's just kind of, I think for them another day. We've been going after it with skill instruction, so they're excited to get going now.
What's the priority for the next 3 weeks before the opener?
Attention to detail, just kind of getting ready for the season. Told them yesterday as a group if we're inside for 3 weeks, that helps us work on more fundamentals. So we have an opportunity to go over a lot of things defensively, especially. We have the scoring facility where we can get live hitting done, which we're going to do a couple times a week. So just kind of the attention to detail and just getting better every day. That's what we're looking for.
How close are you, or are you even close to, deciding pitching rotations, lineups, things like that?
Well, I think we have an idea maybe, but a lot of it's going to kind of depend on how the next 3 weeks go with some of the live outings, where guys' secondary stuff is, where the velocity is, how they're bouncing back. Like I said, so far so good as far as guys being ready to go. I think we have a decent idea, but we'll play out the next 3 weeks.
Are you pleased with the options, I guess, that you have for weekend rotation? I mean, you're completely rebuilding from last year there.
Yeah, we got to replace a lot of guys. I think the experience isn't necessarily there, but I do think you have a guy in Garrett Stroh, that he's pitched a lot of Big Ten games in his career. He's a senior. He's been around the block. I think he's a guy that profiles that way. Other than that, we have a lot of guys that maybe less than 20 Division I innings. So I think we have a lot of talented options. It's just a matter of who's going to be able to build up and go through the lineup more than once.
I guess, how do you kind of approach those early season series? I mean, do you kind of try to run a lot of guys out there, or how do you kind of deal with those first 3 weeks?
Yeah, we got to try to identify as best we can who's going to help us win. I mean, honestly, the first weekend, we don't have time to go into it and kind of ease our way in and say, well, hopefully this guy goes and gets the job done. It's an inexact science, but we've got to try to pare it down right now the best we can. And I think playing 3-game series early helps, and not playing 4 games the first couple of weekends. That way you do get to pare it down, and maybe you get to have some guys do some live outings that aren't game ready yet.
Well, going back to the Paul, how do these guys handle just learning your terminology and the expectations that you have along with your assistant coaches?
Yeah, there was definitely a learning curve there, I think. Just putting the guys in uncomfortable situations in practice, just the way we ran drills, the way we organized structured practice was a little bit of a learning curve, but we've had some encouraging signs here already of them taking what they learned in the fall and already applying it to the spring. And I think by now they expect to be put in uncomfortable spots in practice, so they're much more ready for it. And I guess the handling of failure is maybe getting a little better because of that.
Jackson was telling us about the breakfast rule. Is that something that you've just kind of developed on your own, and how's the team responded to that, and as far as from a disciplinary?
Yeah, the breakfast rule gets a lot of pub, I guess. It's the most important meal of the day last time I checked, but it's more than just that. It's a nutrition thing. It's a get up out of bed even if you have a 10 o'clock class thing. It's just having structure in your life, and having something that you need to do when you get up. And so, yeah, I think, and knowing that if you don't do it, that there is something that, there's a consequence behind. If you decide to sleep in and be late to work, then there's going to be consequences when you're not a baseball player anymore. So just kind of teaching those little lessons.
By this point, they're pretty disciplined. I mean, they understand. It was more so in the fall, right?
Yeah, I mean, by now it's as is. I mean, that's just kind of the routine that they're used to, and they're used to the word accountability, and they're really buying into the hard work that it takes to kind of take it to the next level.
Early on, what are your expectations for what this team can accomplish?
I just want us to go out and play hard. I want us to go out and anytime we play somebody that at the end of the weekend that team says, wow, those guys they're getting after it. That's a team that's tough to handle. So I just want us to go out and do that every day. I think if we do that, we have some talent. We have some guys that have been around the block that you look up at the end of the year, you stack up enough of those days, you got a chance to win.
What has surprised you about what you've seen so far?
Surprise, I don't think there's been a ton of surprises, just kind of knowing a little bit more about the roster than coming in blind, having, knowing about the program and I've been really pleased with the character, the makeup of the team, and really how they've embraced some change. So.
Is there any injuries that you're having to deal with players?
Connor Curry will be out for the year. He's had a Tommy John for the second time, and so he's not going to be available this year. We've got some guys coming back, rehabbing that we didn't see a whole lot of in the fall, but so far so good on those guys. So, and like I said, guys showed up in shape with their arms and legs when they came back. So we've been able to kind of press it a little bit here and not had any setbacks.
And Logan Foster, is he sitting out this year?
Foster's out this year. Yeah, he won't be on the roster. He'll be with us up until the first game, and he's part of the program until then. Or he's even part of the program after that, but just not on the roster.
Colby Lewis, what do you hope to see out of him this year?
With Colby, I want him to prepare every day like he's going to be the best pitcher in the country, and just to go out and earn it every day with his work habits. And he's got a lot of talent. He's got an opportunity to. I think he's got a chance to pitch as long as he wants to pitch. So, with him, it's just going to be about those work habits. It's going to be about establishing those. And when you have that, you have a chance to turn the lineup over multiple times, which is, what we need to see from him, being a closer last year, making that transition. But he had a great end to his fall, and I expect that he's going to be right in the mix.
How much of a step forward do you think Spencer can take after a pretty good year one, even through some injuries that he faced?
Yeah, Spencer's a really talented player. He's an important part of our lineup. I think he probably is going to hit somewhere at the top of the order, middle of the order, where he's going to be counted on to, produce runs. And I was impressed by his feet. His feet got a lot better this fall, I think, at shortstop, based on the fact that he couldn't throw. He was coming back from the injury with the arm, so he had a lot of opportunities to work on his footwork. And so he's a really talented player, and he's going to be right in the middle of good things that we do.
You gonna pitch him at all?
That's kind of to be determined with his arm, kind of how he feels and how he holds up to a normal workload of shortstop first. And then we got to be comfortable, with who's going to play shortstop, when he's not in there. So.
Will, first day of practice for you as Nebraska's head baseball coach. I know you had the fall, but it's still kind of surreal for you a little bit, or did that kind of all pass here? Back in October?
Yeah, the surreal moments, I think, it probably passed. I've never taken a day for granted to be in this opportunity and have this great job here at Nebraska. I'm excited, just like I am every day when I get out of bed. So just another day to get better.
We won't ask you about breakfast again.
It's okay. It's all right. No worries.